Would you be on testosterone, live a healthy lifestyle, eat clean, do your cardio every day, not be on testosterone, probably drink every weekend, fat, eat all kinds of junk food, and don't do exercise whatsoever? Which is healthier?
That's gotta be one of the stupidest rationales I've heard for using steroids. Like, what about option 3?
They're all hypocrites.
I listened to this video from Greg Doucette talking to this guy, the Durrah. I've never heard of him before, but looked him up on Instagram, and looks like he's been bodybuilding for a little over 15 years now. And he's jacked, and he's all about taking steroids and has some pretty stupid rationale. So let's hear a little bit of it and see what the problem is with society nowadays.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
If someone were to tell you, if you haven't used steroids, you would have a normal life.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have all these cars, you won't have a chef cooking you, just a normal guy. You would be a normal guy making $100K a year.
Like a school teacher like I was for 11 years.
Exactly.
Right.
Staying a school teacher. Would you take that deal?
To live 10 more years longer?
Yes.
Yes.
No. No way.
So here's the thing.
No.
Picture this. You're 80, right?
Yeah.
You got grandkids, the whole
I'm
thing.
done.
You're 80.
You're 80 years old. You're done. You're done with life. You've done everything.
I can give you
Why
a
would you
story.
even want to live longer?
What kind of attitude is that? You're 80, you're done. Why would you want to live longer? I remember when I was a kid thinking that 40 years old sounded old. And now I'm getting close to 40 and I'm actually in the best shape I've ever been in. And my career is only getting better. I have a family and a lot of kids, and I have a newborn, or I guess he's almost a year old now. So I'll be pushing 60 by the time he's 20. Why would I want to be everything over when I'm 80? It's like these guys think all that matters is being huge and jacked, and when I can't be that anymore, I'm done. But like, think about Trump. He's 80. He's a president of the United States now. You think he doesn't want to be alive because he's 80? The dude golfs all the time, or at least he did before, but I'm sure he's got a lot of stuff going for him, and he wants to keep on going for a long time. I mean, then there's Joe Biden. You know, he's kind of the opposite of that. So I guess it depends on your health situation, but that just goes to show you take steroids and stuff and you harm your health and make your quality of life worse when you get to 80 versus you stay natural. You build up as much muscle as you can naturally and then just maintain that as long as you can. You'll probably be a pretty fit, healthy 80-year-old enjoying your life and not anywhere near thinking, oh, I'm done. Like,
Grandmother was 94. I said, you know, you lived a good life. You must be ready to go.
What was your grandmother doing at 94? Other than the same every day.
Walking around, cooking, baking, sewing, doing her thing.
Look at his face. He's just like, it's so condescending. What is she doing but the same stuff every day? Like, what do you do every day? You go to the gym, you inject some drugs into you, you work out, you track every meal you do, and you go drive your expensive car and probably hook up with girls. You notice a lot of these jacked guys on social media aren't married, don't have long-term stable relationships. Why do you think that is? They're self-obsessed. If all you care about is making your body look as good as you can because that's your value, this whole red pill thing of like, you know, you need to be attractive and have sexual market value to women and blah, blah, blah. Like, do you really want a girl to be attracted to you because you have a peaked out physique? What's gonna happen when you start going downhill? Is she gonna look for someone else with that physique? Or you have, you know, wait till you get all this money so that you can provide everything she wants? Or are you just gonna attract a girl who just wants to take your money? Like, I got married to my wife when I wasn't working out. Like, I wasn't overweight or anything, but I barely had any muscle. One of my nephews said I looked scrawny in a picture he saw of us, my wife and me, when we were dating, and I definitely wasn't making a lot of money when we got married, but we built up a life together and improved on stuff together. So, I mean, I really highly suggest find someone when you're young, before you're super successful, and build a life together. If you want to be happy and not just obsessed with yourself, look at Alex Eubank. The dude's girlfriend said that he thought he was going to marry, was planning on buying this house and all kinds of stuff for her, and when he made a video talking about how he was ready to off himself because she broke up with him and told him, I don't see myself marrying someone like you. And he's like, what does that mean? It means all you care about is yourself more than anything else. So, seems to be a trend with these social media influencer jacked dudes, especially the ones on drugs, because why do you feel the need to take them? Because you're never happy with yourself and always trying to do more with your body.
You've had a good life, you've lived, like you must be, you know, ready to go. It's fine. She's like, Greg, I feel 19 inside my head. When I look and talk, I'm 19. Now, I don't look 19, but she's like, that's how I feel.
Let me know in the comments, how old are you? And how old do you feel in your head? Like, I understand what he's saying. I'm getting close to 40 now, but it's like, I don't really feel any different than when I'm a teenager, aside from like my lower back hurting more often now. That's kind of self-induced from doing really heavy deadlifts, powerlifting, but otherwise mentally, yeah, it's not like just because your body gets older, your mind is old. I don't know.
I want to live just as much as you do. At 49, I want to live just as long now as when I was 19.
First of all, I don't think steroids, especially if used correctly, will do that.
I didn't use them correctly. I was at 700 trend for a bit.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not telling people to do the cycles that we did for competition. So I'm saying test is amazing.
Oh my God! I don't disagree with you, but what dose of test do you think is safe? Like, say somebody's contemplating, they're watching.
So let's do it correctly. Let's see what correctly is.
And they're like, I want to use test. What dose could they use that you think is safe?
I had that on Niall's podcast.
Yeah.
I'm from Egypt, and we have what we call the dad cycle. Basically, all my friends are on it, even those who are not bodybuilders.
And people don't know, right? They don't tell.
No, they don't tell. But like, they're still jacked, decently jacked. But like, I got people working in politics. I got people as engineers. They go to the gym 4 times a week, and we have a dad cycle. And it's 500 milligrams of testosterone a week.
Alex Eubank was on 200 milligrams of testosterone, and his testosterone was over 1,500 nanograms per deciliter. So imagine what 500 is going to do to you. Yeah, that sounds real safe. And doing it the correct way.
And maybe 5 units of growth hormone a day.
If I took that.
I couldn't have planned that. Here's a RitFit ad of me. Let's watch this. This is the first time I've seen this. That's funny. By the way, this is a good machine. I use this every leg day, doing some pretty intense leg presses. Looks like they've added a little too much sharpening to it though. Sweet, there's an ad of me. So the normal range for male testosterone is between like 300 and 900, just for reference, in case you don't know, for natural. High end, 900.
First of all, studies have shown that most men have less testosterone, have 50% less testosterone than what our fathers and grandfathers had.
Yeah, I've seen those.
You've seen those?
Yeah.
So I don't think, like, how many people would have those kind of numbers, 900 to 1,000?
Now?
Yeah.
Oh, 5% maybe of people?
I would argue even less.
Yeah, low percent.
So the argument, I've heard this from a lot of people now online, is, our testosterone levels today are so much lower than our parents before us and our grandparents before them. So let's just all start shooting up testosterone and make our testosterone level higher. That's not going to fix the problem. What do you think the problem is? What did your parents do and their grandparents? My in-laws told me that his dad had to get out of school early to start helping with the family business, doing manual labor every day. What did people do up until the last 30, 40 years? Lots of manual labor jobs. So you're outside in the sun, working, pushing yourself hard, not overeating and getting fat, as opposed to now, people do all kinds of sports and stuff in high school, but then you go get a job and you just sit around and do nothing. And you keep eating a bunch of junk and you gain weight. Being obese doesn't help with testosterone levels. They're going to decrease. You're not doing anything. You're not doing any kind of physical work, so you're not giving any stimulus to your body to grow muscle or maintain what you have, and you lose muscle from sitting around doing nothing. So that combination just makes it all go lower, and a sedentary lifestyle doesn't help. So instead of injecting testosterone because our levels are lower, how about you change your lifestyle? Mine's at 511 was my last blood work. I'm almost 37 years old, and probably around 10% body fat. So I'm right in the middle of the normal range. It's fine with me. I feel fine. I don't have any problems. So why would I need to inject testosterone? Let's fix the problem rather than just going straight to drugs like everything else. Your blood pressure's bad, here's a drug for that. Your cholesterol's bad, take this drug. Why don't we fix the underlying problem?
Having lower testosterone than 30 years ago, like the rates of testosterone that we have now, has more of a health effect, a negative health effect, than being on a little more than being on a little more.
What I'm hearing is that you're okay with HRT to put you at, let's call it optimal test range, like maybe 1,000 or so.
A little over than that.
But not the dad cycle. Like 500 tests is going to put my test levels past 2,000 for sure.
The dad cycle, I think, is something everyone has to experience.
Again, rather than fixing the problem, let's just take drugs and make it way above where it even should be. And those same people that take it are not going to be exercising. You're just taking a drug to make yourself feel better. You might lose some weight just from the higher levels of tests, but your lifestyle is going to dictate how you look. And the funny thing to me is all these guys that talk about how we need testosterone and we have a low testosterone epidemic, and like Alex Eubank again, for example, how come it's the most jacked, most gifted looking natural people that all of a sudden like have low testosterone and need to take drugs to make them feel better? There's no way you're building a physique like Alex Eubank has if you don't have good genetics. So how can you have such great genetics, but your testosterone just be crashed? It doesn't make sense. You can't build all this muscle and physique with low testosterone. So let's quit making excuses for why we need to take drugs.
And the problem is, how do you go back to feeling like me?
You would not trade your life to making $50,000.
To live 10 years longer, yes, because
$50,000?
oh, man, like once
You're
older,
not going to experience all this. You're not going to experience your
I don't need
vacations.
to.
You're not going to experience vacations. What's a vacation going to do for you? It's just like anything else. You do it enough, you have millions of dollars like some of these guys, and you're vacationing all the time, you're going to feel empty. I look at like Mike Thurston, I just wonder if the guy feels lonely. Like you see Matt Does Fitness, he goes on vacations too, but he's got a family and he looks like he enjoys his life. But then, you know, you see Mike Thurston, he posts himself in cars and with girls and all this stuff, and it's like, do you really feel fulfilled? Just, oh, I went and I saw this now and I saw this. Yeah, it's cool when you're there, but then the vacation ends and you go back to normal life where you're alone. Like this guy, looked up his Instagram and he's laying around with some dogs. Like that's your companionship, is a couple little dogs. Like it's, I don't know, it's just like focused on the wrong things, all these material things. You couldn't buy all this stuff. You couldn't have this Lamborghini or Ferrari or whatever. Everything you get, once you've had it long enough, you're gonna get used to it and then you're just gonna want something else. So you put into perspective, what's gonna last is your family.
But when I was a
steroids.
school teacher, not traveling, not going on vacation, I still was happy. I was always like a happy person. I think everyone should experience living 10 years longer than last time.
More testosterone than last time.
I don't think you're old enough. Like you're 39, is it?
39, yeah.
30, okay, 30.
This dude's older than me and he's got this super materialistic mindset lifestyle. Once I can't do all this stuff, I just want to be dead.
39 and 49. I thought exactly like you.
And he doesn't have a family, it looks
Now I'm
like.
49. So you are not me yet. I can travel back and be Durrah and competing, but you can't go into the future and be like, wait, I want to live long.
And Greg doesn't have a family either, at least not his own wife and kids, and hasn't experienced that, neither of these guys. You know, again, what's the common factor? The whole like, I want to be a top bodybuilder focused on myself. But this last thing just really got me.
Would you be on testosterone, live a healthy lifestyle, eat clean, do your cardio every day, not be on testosterone, probably drink every weekend, fat, eat all kinds of junk food, and don't do exercise whatsoever? Which is healthier?
Why is the comparison, which is healthier, being on testosterone, eating healthy, working out, doing your cardio every day, versus being fat, lazy, eating junk, not working out? Why are those the two options? Why can't we do no testosterone, but eating healthy, working out, and doing your cardio every day? You can still do that without the testosterone. Which of those do you think would be healthier? Let me know in the comments. Would it be healthier to do all those same things, lift, cardio, eat healthy, without testosterone versus with? Especially when you don't need it, because you're literally doing something that's going to cause you to maybe have to do that for your entire life. And we don't know what all the long-term effects are of taking testosterone at really high levels for a long time. It can increase cancers. We've seen that before. So, you know, what's important to you? Is it having everything you can right now? Or isn't it good to like build stuff throughout your life? To gain slowly, to enjoy people versus things. Like, maybe I'm just old-fashioned. Maybe that's the problem with the world today, but, you know, definitely disagree with this guy, but like, subscribe. I got lots of stuff on diet and training you can do naturally to stay healthy and get a body that you want to look that's naturally healthy and will hopefully help you to live a long time. See you soon.